We gather in the cosmos bright. Stars and ships take flight tonight. In the void where dreams do play. Soul citizens lead the way. Borders fade in nebula's light.
It's okay.
It's okay. Through the galaxy we soar. Endless journeys at our core. Borders fade in nebula's light. Unknown worlds will chart tonight. Through the galaxy we soar. Endless journeys at our core. Starry roads in endless skies. Soul citizens we rise. Charting courses never lost. Together the verses crossed.
Hi, welcome back.
Squadrons call on the horizon. Battles fought, our hearts aren't frightened. In our ships we face the dawn. Soul citizens carry on. Oh, planets spin and light years fly. Boundless space where hopes reside. Motherhood in every star. Soul citizens, here we are. Borders fade in nebula's light. Unknown worlds will chart tonight. Through the galaxy we soar. Endless journeys at our core. Starry roads in endless skies. Soul citizens we rise. Charting courses never lost. Together the verses crossed.
Hey, greetings. Welcome back to the Soul Citizens. I am GriffinGamingRPG, and we are back. Today is Sunday, November the 23rd, kicking off IAE week, plus a whole lot of other things as we're approaching holidays, and we are excited to be back with you guys. We know last week we missed you. We had to miss out last week because I couldn't get into Star Citizen, and fastcart's computer broke down, and it was like, we can't talk about anything. So we took off last week. We couldn't talk about the game, so we pushed it to this week. And so we're going to be kicking it off today. And we are actually joined by a very special guest that we've been following for quite some time. He didn't know it. He doesn't know it, but he knows it now. And we've been wanting to get him on the show. So we are joined by the one and only Spiritus Raptor. How are you, my friend? How you doing?
What's going on, guys? How you doing? I'm happy to be here. I really appreciate you guys having me on today.
Yeah, we're happy to have you on. Tell our audience a little bit about you. Who is Spiritus Raptor? What is your stream? Tell them how long you've been in the game, how you found the game. Tell them a little bit about you.
It's not a super spectacular story, so but I'm gonna be a little vulnerable here.
Okay.
So, I actually just started my channel back in April or May of this year because I got laid off from my job.
Okay.
So I had a lot of time on my hands, and so my wife does YouTube, and I thought to myself, you know what? I have a lot of time on my hands. I've always seen a lot of YouTubers doing streams about Star Citizen, so I was really wanting to try it out, and I just went with it, and it's just been picking up. The community's been really responsive, and it's been, just very helpful for trying to like align my my content to where it's something that they enjoy watching, and I always enjoy conversating with them. So that's basically kind of how it kind of all started. Just out of I had a lot of time on my hands from being unemployed at the time, and the community was really good to me, so I just kind of stuck with it, and I just continue to strive to make good content for them that they like to watch.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, listen, Fastcart has already put the shout out in the chat. You guys make sure you click on Raptor Spriitus, give them a follow. Make sure you check them out. But tell everybody, like, how often do you stream? What certain days you stream?
Most of the time it'll be, if I do drop a video, it's usually on my days off. If it's if I can, I'll usually drop maybe 2 or 3 videos to try to at least make up for the fact that it's not super consistent, like every day the same.
Okay.
So on Sundays, you'll see me usually drop like 2 or 3 videos. And then just a random day during the week when I'm off, I'll try to drop videos just to stay consistent.
Okay. That's fair. That's fair. All right, folks. We already told you. Make sure you check them out, follow them, support them. Another one out here who's trying to make it with all these folks that are getting Star Citizen. We didn't get to hear from you is how did you find out about Star Citizen and how long have you been playing it now?
So I started back when, ironically enough, okay, let me back a little farther.
Okay.
So probably about, I would say 6, maybe 7 years ago, I stumbled upon it on YouTube. I was watching, who was it? I want to say it was Board Gamer, and there was another gentleman I was watching where this is when he was always going around Korea and like over at Yella and always like, you know, fighting people and doing random stuff. So I was always watching it, and then I just kind of continued to kind of, you know, look for it on YouTube over the years, and then I started seeing more and more stuff. And I'm like, man, this is a very like cool sci-fi game that it looks like, or at least what it's trying to be, is what anyone who's a real sci-fi person has been waiting for their entire lives. So eventually I got myself a computer that could handle the game, and I found out that my coworkers at my old job were actually playing it since the beginning.
Okay.
We just randomly started talking about it. I was like, yeah, I like this game called Star Citizen. They're like, yeah, we've been playing it since it started. I'm like, say what? And I was blown away. You know, shout out to Heron and Wolf. They're the two guys that got me really to just take the jump and start playing it.
Nice.
And it has been amazing. And even the ups and downs, regardless of all the stuff that people say, I love this game. There is no other space game that really fulfills that personal experience of you being in space that actually resembles what real space life would be like. So I'm digging it. I love Star Citizen. It's one of my favorite things to do with my time is to be in the verse and just play, meet good people, and just keep going.
Nice. Well, we're happy. Go ahead,
I can interrupt real quick.
Sure.
You normally stream on Twitch or YouTube?
Just YouTube for right now.
Just YouTube. So you only have 3 followers on Twitch. That's what I was asking. You're Raptor Spriitus 8470 on YouTube.
No, on YouTube it's just Raptor Spriitus.
Okay, can you give me a link? That way I can DM me your link in Discord. That way I can send people to the right place that people can find you.
Absolutely.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah,
and while you're doing that, can tell people what your favorite ship is.
My favorite ship? So in my videos, you will always hear me talk about a ship I called it, which is why I cannot wait when they actually will give people the ability to name their ships. I know right now, like the Carrack, and I think 2 other ships and the Mercury Star Runner have the ability for you to name your ship. But when they actually allow it for everybody else, my favorite ship is I call her the Emerald Duchess. It is a Corsair that is in the ghoulish green color. It is my absolute favorite. I will die with that ship. I know I did a video recently where I was talking about switching up my fleet for IAE, and a bunch of people like, you need to drop that Corsair. I was like, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I can't do it. That was my first big purchase for this game.
Yeah. Okay.
It will stay with me for forever, and that is my number one always. Absolutely. Okay. I will die in her every day, all day. I love that ship.
That's awesome. That is so awesome. Well, again, we're happy to have you with us today. And folks, make sure you guys check him out on YouTube, and as well, sort of support his Twitch, even though that's not where he's at a lot of times. I think I caught you because I saw your YouTube videos, and that's what I've been following more than anything. So we want to definitely support you in that. Thank you. By the way, Serious Fun, thank you for the sub up there earlier, and also Senor Mukul. Mukul, I want to ask that question, but that'll open up a whole nother story. Next week is the IAE show, so we're going to make sure we talk about, Mukul basically said, let's hear it, who hit the next concierge level. We'll talk about that next week. So anyway, we want to go ahead and get things started here. As you guys know, when we first started out the show, we started out with Star Citizen this week. This week, there was a lot of stuff that happened. And so we just want to do some quick overview of the things, what our responses were to it before we jump into our topic for today, which is update 4.4. Very first thing we want to talk about is actually what's going on right now. And it was this is the very first time that CIG has done this, but they're doing Twitch drops. This was under the Welcome to Nix piece. They said, celebrate the launch of Alpha 4.4. Welcome to Nix with our first ever Twitch drop event. From November 20th through December 3rd, tune into any of the drops enabled Star Citizen streams for a total of 4 hours to unlock the Geist Epoch, I guess it's Epoch, armor set, a complete suit of armor and backpack, all free. It's a perfect time to jump in, explore Nix, and gear up for the adventure. This has actually been interesting. I'm going to go both to Raptor and fastcart. If you got a comment on this, that's fine. If you don't, it's not a big deal. But how do you feel about this thing that CIG has kind of opened up their marketing in a different new way with Twitch drops? I watched some people whose numbers actually blossomed over this past weekend. Streamers who said that they definitely saw more viewers sitting in their channels. Raptor, come to you first. Did you check out any drops? Did you do any drops? Did you watch anybody? What's your thoughts?
So right now, actually, I have one playing in the background. So
okay,
I wanted to watch it so I get the drop in. I think it's a very interesting take on their marketing team trying to do something a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody will tell you it doesn't really take a lot of effort to do so. But the good thing is that I think in their own little way, they're trying to give back to everyone, especially around a time where people are expected to open their wallets up and willfully give to CIG.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that it's nice that they're giving you an option to earn a suit of armor, a unique one, and not have to pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
Only thing you have to do is basically you're supporting other Twitch and other streamers that love the game, and just be on there, have it running for 4 hours so you can win an armor. I think that's pretty awesome, actually.
Yeah, cool. FC?
Yeah, during the countdown for the start of the show, I was trying to get my quick drop set up because I was like, "Oh yeah, they started, didn't it?" I asked all about it, so I'm doing it right now on this channel.
So you Twitch dropping off of your own channel. That's pretty funny. I got to admit that there's some humor, there's some sick humor in there with that. But okay, yeah. But we are, if you guys are watching this, we are set up and able for drop. So you'll get at least an hour or two out of us. And by the way, as was mentioned here earlier, you don't have to watch one for 4 hours straight as long as it's cumulative. So you can watch different people and build up to that 4 hour point. There was a weird bug with Twitch. It wasn't, I don't know what it was, but if you went to Twitch, it would say you have to enable it. And for some people, you clicked on it, it acted like it didn't work. And for other people, it did. But it does go to your hanger. So it's not a big deal. Just check your hanger and you'll see if it's there later on. But you've got all week. You've got till December. So, you got plenty of time. So that's what was going on this week. I agree with you, Spiritus. I think it's great that CIG is kind of opening the doors up a little bit and saying, here's some new ideas for marketing that they could do. And obviously, it is having impact because, as I mentioned, we were watching people and I know I watched Salty Mike day one, I think it was. And Salty Mike had I don't know if he was on the main page, but he had 6,000 people watching him that day. And Paul had Saturday, I was on with him on Saturday. Paul's numbers usually around 200 and something people. He had 300 and something people watching him. So it's definitely had some impact for many of the content creators. We're kind of starting our show 3 or 4 days in, so we're going to get probably a little less viewership, but that's okay. We want our community to be able to benefit from it, which is great. Next thing that we can talk about happened this week, the IAE Free Fly and the manufacturer schedule came out this week. Join us at the breathtaking city of Orison for the biggest spaceship show in the universe on November 20th to celebrate the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo 2955. Star Citizen will be free to play throughout the entire event. Save the date and check out the schedule. The thing I want to throw to you guys about this is, each year these events come around, whether it's Invictus or whether it's IAE, there's always this behind the scenes clock that's ticking because we know that CIG has to set out a patch, first of all, just to get the IAE stuff out there. But usually also there's new content, which means that there's a possibility of bugs, right? How are you guys feeling about either yourself or what you've heard maybe other backers talking about performance? Whether it's at the IAE or, we can get into, we're going to talk about 4.4, and I think maybe that'll be a bigger area to talk about. But How's the game playing for you when it comes to, or if you know people who've done free fly, maybe new people, have you invited new people? Spiritus, I'm jumping to you again.
So I'll say when it comes to the playability, it's okay, but with every patch, there's always bugs. And the worst part about it is that a patch will come and it'll bring new content, but the problem is that then it also breaks something that a lot of people are using. And a lot of people are speculating that a lot of it has to do with the fact that CIG doesn't have a really good foundation for a lot of their mechanics, which may or may not be true. The short end of it is that every time they do add something, somehow it breaks other things, which does get a little bit annoying after a while because, there are problems that are date back like 4 years ago, and then they'll drop a new patch, and that same problem will start occurring in this new patch, and it's just like now they have to go back and fix it. So, I'm not a programmer. I will never speak to how easy it is to patch things, especially for a game that's in alpha constantly, for so long. But I do understand the frustration behind wanting to get in and just do the Star Citizen thing, right? Some people want to go out and mine. One of my org mates, Heteron, the one I spoke about earlier, he's a miner. He will go out to the Halo in his mold, do his business, get his ore, and then go refine it. Do you know how frustrating it is when he tries to go and sell that ore and he can't? Either something happens, the game crashes, he loses it completely after an hour or so of grinding for it. He gets there and then like a patch or something drops or something happens where he can't sell it, or if he has cargo, he can't get it off the grid. Yeah. These are reoccurring issues. So it's great that they've been doing so many new bits of content, which I love, but we're still running into the same bugs and the same problems with playability we've been running into since the dawn of time.
Yeah.
And I guess the question is are they really ever going to focus on making the game solid so every time they drop a patch, there are really next to no bugs that are going to affect it? Like, stuff's going to happen, but when is it going to be the time where they're going to create the foundation of, the physics and everything to where when they add something, it's not just going to end up breaking some more things. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think a point that you make that's really good is it's one thing to get new bugs. It's another thing with a reoccurring bug, right? If this thing was working before and now we put out a patch, when new stuff comes in, we kind of expect, well, they've got to work through that, right? But when it's the old stuff that gets busted, it's like, wait a minute, the mold was working the last 6 months. Now it's not working now, right? That does become frustrating to backers who've been playing for a while. FC, I know that your computer was down. You didn't have time to get in and play. But I'm going to tell you something, Raptor, that is working, that nobody has mentioned. I have not heard one streamer mention it, that we would normally have as a bug. And guess what it is? The elevators at Levski. They changed the elevator design.
God.
They changed the elevator design.
The elevators.
So
wait till next patch.
Wait till next patch. Don't work. They do work. They're confusing, but they do work. There's nothing else.
This is true. This is true. The freight elevators work. Yeah, the freight elevators work, which is great. I mean, I'll give it that. I haven't run into where my cargo is sticking to my grid and I can't get it off. So that's cool and everything. That's great.
Okay. Yeah, and then the elevator,
but like you said, the mold doesn't work all of a sudden. Yeah.
So I just had to make a joke out of that fastcart. But when you go over to Levski now, where before you would go in fastcart, you hit the panel to say where you wanted to go. Now it's just like a constant. It's more of a tram. So when you get on it, it just moves automated on its own, and you just get off when you get to your floor, right? So I'm like, well, that's one way to alleviate the elevator problem, but take it for what it's worth, okay? Yeah, for what it's worth. Yeah. Absolutely.
I mean, funny enough.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, I've been hearing about stability. I haven't heard that many complaints about stability this time. So maybe the fact of free fly and everything like that. I mean, I just been hanging the wrong people, but I hear stability is pretty okay this time.
It's been a mixed bag. Yeah, it's been okay. There's performance issues and stability issues, right? The performance issues are the same old ones that existed when we got Levski, when we got Hurston for the first time, where the frame rates just tank, right? In the public areas, at least for me, in the public areas, and maybe Raptor, if you had a different experience, let me know. When I came off the elevator and came into the public area where the Tanaka statue is and stuff like that, it was crappy. When I went into the remote areas, like going to the hospital or down into the lower areas of the refinery, it ran smooth. So for me, it was much more in those public areas. When I went outside where the Levski banner is and you can see outside, you can go out in EVA, that ran smooth as silk for me. I flew in today for the first time from Crusader to the jump point, went in, everything was silky smooth there. Now, mind you, in the PTU, it was really, people were really talking about how bad it was. But there is still some LOD frame rate issues when you're in Levski itself. Is that right, Raptor? Pretty much, you think?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we're talking about problems, right? Little bugs. So funny enough, I had come from Pyro and I went back to Levski. This is probably about an hour before we started. And as I was flying into Levski, it's called my hangar. I was flying in, literally as I'm passing the threshold of the doors, it repositioned me. Now, yeah. So then I was like, all right, so let me go ahead and maybe it's a one-time thing. So I tried to save my own ship, which is the Clipper, by the way. Yeah, the ugly sideways fish ship that everybody hates. I love this thing. So I tried to save it with my SRV, and as I was trying to yank it into, I went outside and tried to push it in to the hangar. No, I got repositioned again. So I had two ships that were chilling in the doorway. I was like, I'm done. So in the add insult to injury, I tried to take the elevator and I went to it and it was not even there. I had to call it for the elevator door to appear. So as you were talking about elevators, I was like, oh, funny enough, there was no elevator when I walked in.
Well, mine was different. I flew in with the Sayulan, and there was a bug in PTU. I thought it was fixed because I hadn't heard anybody talking about it recently. But I flew in, and when there was this bug that when people came in and landed, as soon as they landed, their ship would disappear. It would just disappear, and they'd have to wonder, did I lose it? Did it stow or whatever? I flew in today, and in the Sayulan, you have to kind of fly in and you have to rotate the ship to land it, right? As soon as I flew in and got over my mark, fell down, hit the ground, boom, 60 points of damage, right? And of course, look up, the ship's not there. So that bug evidently is still there. I had to go to the hospital afterward, but I lived to tell the story. But yeah, there are still some bugs. There are still some things that need to be worked on, but it is what it is. The question is, what type of impact do these things have on the new players for the free fly? Do they understand it? Do they get frustrated? Do they say it ain't ready? But there have been times where it's been so bad where it was detrimental to CIG, but this time they're still keeping it going. So hopefully it'll get fixed this week. That's what I'm hoping for. We also had Roadmap Roundup this past week. Just a few updates here that happened. We knew some of this was we've heard about it already because of what happened with the tech preview. But the Max Ox Neutron cannons were refactored. We know the CIG has been doing this with certain guns. They've been updating the graphics on them. So for 4.0, they got updated. But we also got the list of things that were coming for 4.5. Engineering fire hazards, physical helmets, new barrel attachments, Vulcan renderer improvements, which a lot of people are excited about, FPS AI improvements, and some more new hairstyles. Anything on here interests you, Raptor, that stands out for you that you're looking forward to?
So I'm going to be honest, it's probably the smallest thing on this list, but the fact that they've physicalized the helmets, in my opinion, if you've seen anyone or if you've done the tech preview yourself and you look at yourself in third person, where you're able to have your helmet in two positions, either under your arm, like carrying it, like if you're a pilot on the deck, or it clips to the back of your belt on your hip. I think this is such an amazing additive that they're putting as a feature because it just really brings that immersion to the game that much closer, right? And to me, what that says is that now they physicalized helmets. So when they physicalize arms, chest, and leg pieces, what do you think that actually turns into? Where possibly we might sooner than later get the armor lockers that every single ship has that doesn't work, or it's just there. Just imagine being able to put your armor in that locker and swap between that and whatever other outfit you have. Even if you have like a light armor and you want to switch to two, right? Depending on what you're doing. And someone like me, I actually, when I'm not doing combat stuff, I'll wear clothes. I'll wear normal clothes walking around and, doing little small like carrier missions. I'm not in armor all the time because it's just, again, I like the immersion purpose of it. I like that they have clothes for everybody. Not everybody has to walk around in armor all day. So that little small portion, that little helmet part, I think is the world, honestly.
Yeah, it's nice. And it looks good. The animation looks good. And it actually works both. And as you said, first person and third person. And you actually see the animation. It's pretty cool. FC, what about you? Anything here stand out for you?
Yeah, I'm going to put in a link. It's going to be a long link, but people can check it out. But it's the new faces, the hairstyle, because we're getting Disco Lando in the game, evidently. That's what it looks like. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing him in game, or more of him in game, because I think maybe, 1 in 5 people will be running around looking like him once he's available. So that'll be cool.
Well, there are a lot of people who want to see less of him in game too, by the way, just so you know. But go ahead.
Yeah, I did say 1 in 5. That's 4 out of 5. There won't be him.
Okay.
But you do have the Mohawk, and I don't know what the other thing is. But yeah, so that's interesting. But I'm always excited for people to have more customization options when it comes to their character.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. I have been noticing that as I've been seeing people walk around, something you said earlier, Raptor, I'm one of those people too. I change clothes. I wear civilian stuff. I've been noticing more people doing it. And I've also noticed more customization to faces. A lot of people would just kind of click the default real quick and go in. But I am seeing the new beards and things like that. And people are kind of putting in that time now to make their people look more distinctive, which is nice that you don't have like everybody looks clone-ish in the world, which I like a lot. So again, I think that's very cool too.
I mean, it helps that you can just save your preferences and just load them up whenever the new patch is. So that helps immensely. Oh my God.
Absolutely.
Oh, and I'm gonna tell you, there actually, I don't know if you guys knew, but there's an actual page where people create faces and upload them. And there's I can't remember this YouTuber's name. It's I think it's Grand Pixel. This YouTuber's faces and customization they do for it does a bunch of characters, depicting different features of the game, and it is some of the most stunning like cinematography that I've seen for YouTubers to do. And it's just, the video's only like maybe a minute long, but it does just a few pans around different faces, different, looking from different angles. It is amazing. And this person actually has a couple of faces that they made on that website. It's super cool. So I love the fact that people are able to, again, like FC said, it's about self-expression, right? We, I'm not trying to be funny, but we don't want to all look the same, right? Because we're not all the same.
Yep.
We're citizens in this universe. We're gonna be different. We need to be different. We can be and look. We should be able to look and be any way we want, right? So, like the hair customizations, whenever they started coming out with more like braids and dreadlocks and more, Afro style like haircuts, fades, amazing. And I feel very privileged. I was able to be a witness to something like that, where for the long time it was just straight hair, and then now we have all these different types of hairstyles, and people rock them.
Yep,
people rock them. It's super wonderful, and I love the fact that, again, for this game, it's not generic. They try to get away from the generic, faces.
Absolutely.
We don't all have to look the same. We can look very different, and I like that about this game.
Absolutely. One of our team members, Jade Star Watcher, put in the channel there. She was one of the first people, several people, she and Ariana and Buster the Destroyer kind of were the original pioneers of trying to create spaces for people to be able to upload and also request to have images done of themselves. And the site that she just put in there is starcitizencharacters.com. So you guys can check that one out as well. If you're not good at doing it, these people are happy to help you create the character that you want, or you may find something on there that someone has uploaded that you could utilize. So very, very cool stuff. Let's hit,
I don't know.
Yeah, that's the one I was talking about. That's what I was talking about. That's crazy.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but when I start a new game, like Mass Effect back in the day, or Star Wars: The Old Republic back in the day, I spent like 20, 30 minutes making my character, and then I hit play, and my character looked nothing like what I made them and character
Hmm.
generator. So stuff like that really helps.
Yep, it does. It does. Okay, and the last thing we're going to talk about before we hit our final thing here is the Talking Shop. This was a new marketing piece that CIG put out. It was a podcast. Normally, we kind of would get like a visual type of thing, whether it was a Jax McCleary or whether it was some other form of media that they would use that was animated. This time they decided to go with something that was strictly audio. And I'm not sure. Raptor, did you get a chance to tune in? Fastcart, did you get a chance to tune in?
No, I didn't get a chance to listen to it. It was
Okay.
like from what I understand, it was like a podcast style type
Yep.
of
Yep.
thing.
Yep. Okay. Fastcart, what about you?
Yeah, it's an in-universe podcast style. It's like based in 1995, and the characters are actually living in the verse.
Mm-hmm.
And the first one was kind of an introduction. The second one, you get to hear. I don't want to spoil it too much because people should be listening to it. But the second one, you get to hear some familiar voices. Put it that way.
Yep.
That you would like to hear from. So
Yeah.
check those out. Even if you're not really into podcasts. There's quite some characters in there.
Yeah. I was on Paul's show Saturday and we talked a little bit about this, and we kind of took it beyond just this one hit. But one of the things that I'm going to go into lore and talk about things that we've been asking for as a community. The lore of Star Citizen has that there are, I think we actually did a show on this, that there are media outlets in the Star Citizen universe. Some of them controlled by the UEE, some of them are independent. But we've always talked about the fact that CIG has like these certain ships with monitors on them or certain locations where you can watch a television broadcast. And we're hoping that this is kind of like the continuing of them entering into introducing media as a part of dynamic events in the world. So it goes beyond just reading a newsletter. But now when you're in the game, as you guys know, sometimes when you're in a spaceport, there's a news broadcast going on that Disco does the voice for. And there are other things that we want to start seeing where information can be given out to us as players, but in game. So a broadcast like this, if you're not into podcasting, that's okay, because some people don't like listening to podcasts. But there are plenty of people when they are on their ship or when they're in quantum, being able to tune in and watch a news broadcast or listen to a podcast. Many of you guys have played games where you've got music. You know, those of you who play GTA and other games, you turn on the music and listen to it while you're in game. We're hoping that this is another one of those steps. And so each one of these will be different. Some people don't like podcasts. That's fine. Some people would rather have the visual thing while they're sitting in the spaceport. Other people might be sitting on their ship, and while they're traveling, they're listening to a broadcast. Maybe these events are even tied into stuff that's happening in game. Maybe something breaks out, and there's all of a sudden now you can tune in and find out about it. So I'm hoping that this is kind of the entree to that. This is not in just relation to IAE, but it is a testing ground so that we can start finding out things in game, not just being able to say, well, I got to go to a website or whatever to find out that information. So let's see where this goes. Talking Shop, once again, they set it up at Teaches, I think it is. And I'm hoping that we do see stuff like this that kind of continues to expand within the universe for information for us in the game.
Yeah, there's supposed to be 3 episodes, and two of them are out, and tomorrow will be the last episode for this IAE.
Yeah. I'm hoping, Fastcart, that this becomes like a monthly, weekly kind of thing. You know what I mean? Where there's reporting on the verse, like
Monthly.
reporting in the verse, something that just you can tune into whenever you want to. You know what I mean? Because like right now, when splash screens come up, you know how we get the news thing when the splash screen comes up? I'm saying hopefully there's an audio version of that, then maybe even animated. What were you going to say, Fastcart? I'm sorry.
I hope they go back. I hope they go further. They bring like Sandy Roberts' character from Imperial.
The Imperial News Network, the INN,
News Network,
or the News Network. Yeah, Empire News Network, Empire News. Yeah,
okay.
yeah. They did that as a testing years ago. We're talking 10 years ago when they were doing that. But yes, absolutely, that becomes another part of that type of thing of getting information out to the community. All right, last but not least, because we're running a little bit behind. This week's sneak peek, the title of it was Help is on the Way. Raptor, you got any idea what they talking about on this one? Did you see it?
This is apparently supposed to be a new medical focused armor, not just aesthetically, but it's supposed to be more geared towards medical
Mm-hmm.
personnel, right? There, if you look closely at it, there actually is a new medical gun there.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure what it does, but it's supposed to be seriously geared towards more medical gameplay. Like I'm pretty sure whenever you walk up to someone, maybe on your HUD, you'll be able to see where they're hurt. And that way, you'll be able to help them a lot faster
Mm-hmm.
or whatever else not. But yeah, this is supposed to be a new medical armor set.
Mm-hmm. Okay. FC, thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. Not
Think he's
much.
on point?
I do like the look of it. The thing is, if it wasn't medical, I'd probably get it because I like the aesthetics of it. I like the color and everything of it. But it's medical, so I'll probably stay away from it until I get something like that in a role or category that I would prefer.
Yeah, I'm agreeing. I'm hoping that it is this because we've been talking about CIG started putting emphasis on medical this year ever since the Apollo came out. That's been their big thing. And Raptor, I don't think you're too far off. In fact, the fact that there are these other items on what would be the right side, right? Those other devices that are going to be given to people who want to. They put out the big medical armor when the Apollo came out, but now they're going to start hopefully, they'll give us the tools. But now doing medical is meaningful. They're responding to people. There's more information and data they have and they can get about your health. We know that health is about to change also with injuries, whether it's being able to move, limbs broken, whatever the case may be. So hopefully this is a launching of the medical career now, that they're stepping up their game with that. Not but the armor, but it's all those other little accoutrements and things that are there that might be expanding this career and give us something else to look forward to in the game. So yeah, okay.
I think it'll be nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I hope so. I hope so. I hope
right.
So. Okay.
None of us look at their stuff and say, "Oh, I hope it's crap. I hope it's not working at all."
Yeah, right. Pops in Space, thank you so much for giving out that community sub. Lena Zerka 918, thank you for the follow. Cortheus, thank you for the resub for 15 months. We appreciate you being here tonight. And I saw our good friend Coffee Gaming out there. Coffee, I want to give you a shout out. Coffee's been around a long time. Coffee's all over the place. He's in everybody's stream. I don't know how Coffee does that. I don't say he. I don't know what Coffee. I don't know Coffee's a he or she or whatever. Huh? What'd you say?
I remember Coffee Gaming when they had a different name.
Yeah. I mean, Coffee's been around a long time. But anyway, thank you for being here. It's good to see you. Okay, we're getting ready to jump into our show for tonight, which is update 4.4. We've kind of covered our week. Let's watch a quick video. Let's watch a quick video. And then we're going to come back and start talking about it. I got to remember where I put the video. Okay, here we go.
What makes this place different?
You feel that too, right?
I'm not sure it's supposed to be sound.
Well, I could ramble on about hopeful horizons, chasing some distant dream. But the simple truth is, this place is different because it was made different. It was built by us. A people with one purpose, I guess. Yeah, a purpose. To just live free. You see, no one hands this sort of life to you. It's worked for, even fought for, by us, and those who came before us. People with the will to grab this kind of freedom from an unrelenting grip. That's what I mean when I say this place was made. I don't mean the buildings or the rocks. Just look around. It ain't polished. It sure as hell ain't pretty. But it's real. It's free. And it's ours.
Alrighty. That was the intro for update 4.4. Raptor, were you around when we had Levski before, or was it gone by the time you got into the game? Uh-oh, I lost audio. Hold on one second, okay? Yeah, is he muted?
It's
oh,
me.
There we go.
It's
Oh,
me.
okay.
I
Gotcha.
muted myself. Sorry.
Okay, no problem.
So I started playing in 21. December. No.
Okay.
Like I think it was like November or something like that is when they got me playing finally. Whenever I got a rig that was powerful enough to play it.
Mhm.
So Levski was already gone by the time I got there.
Okay. FC, you were around back with the previous Levski. Have you? I don't know. I know because your computer was down, so I'm not gonna hold you accountable too much. Did you get a chance to go to Levski yet, or have you been able to see any videos of it?
For Soul Station on Friday, they went to Lefty, so I hung out with them.
Okay.
And watching them, and they were streaming in Discord, so I got to hang out with them and see what was up. They seem to have fun. From what they were seeing, the frame rate performance seemed pretty cool from people I was watching.
Mhm.
But yeah, they went to the bar, got drunk, and I was surprised. I was not expecting Lefty to have crews available, but they found it. They found a shop that sold crews over there. So yeah.
Okay. Beyond the drinking, did you see anything else about
No,
Levski?
we didn't really do much.
Okay.
They were just walking around and giving a tour. They set that phone on the thing.
Okay, gotcha. All right. Well, what we're gonna do today? Yeah, go ahead, Raptor.
Oh, I was gonna say two things. I wanted to give a shout out. One of my org mates is actually watching this.
Oh, cool.
His Twitch name is Nazarka 918, whatever that is. I always pronounce it wrong, but that's Heteron, so he's watching, so he's cool.
Nice.
And the other thing was funny enough about Levski that I actually, and this is why I always will say this game, regardless of all the bad things that we encounter with the bugs and some of the setbacks and some of the backlog of ships that everybody's had like in their roster for 5, 8, 10 plus years. Like when it comes to the lore, Levski actually has spirits like alcohol that is specific to Levski that you can find at Levski. I find that they have their own whiskey, and I do believe it's their own gin. I find this super cool.
Yeah.
I'm a whiskey fan myself, but I think this is super cool that they've actually inputted that in the lore, and it's actually, I haven't found it. I haven't looked for it on the station. I would love to see if they have it. If they do,
yeah.
I mean, you'll see my character like near the statue just.
No, it is cool. And I think that, sometimes those are things that are overlooked, the fact of the lore of Levski and the People's Alliance there, how they do want to be distinguished and separate from UEE space. And so sometimes those things are subliminal and subconscious, right? And then there's those other times that are obvious when you see it, right? And I think that those things are really, really great. I was impressed when I went there. I remember what it looked like before. But there were those little things that you saw that you could see that they had refined, that they had upgraded, that they had stepped up to the level of expansion. And today was my first time flying in. I hadn't flown in. And so remembering being there the first time at CitizenCon when they first showed a freelancer flying in, and now going back to it and seeing the expansion of it and seeing how much more detail there was, seeing the new areas such as the docking freight areas, and even the public area outside where the welcome sign is. There are things that they removed, that they took away, but then the things that they put in place of it, I think definitely make more sense. And I really like it. And even going into the Glacian Belt, which is what we're going to jump into a little bit. Thrakazogs, thank you for that sub. We appreciate you as always. 48 months. You've been here a long time, bro. We appreciate you. Let's jump into this. The new system of Nyx, the return of Levski and Delamar, the Glacium Ring, and the jump points. Pick one. talk about it. Whichever one you want to talk about. Raptor, pick one and talk about it.
Well, so I'll start with the first one,
Okay.
Return to Levski and Delamar. So it's, you know, I never been to the original Delamar,
Mhm.
but I remember watching videos about it, and it was actually a planet at one point, was it not?
No, it was a big asteroid. The
It was a big asteroid back then.
Mm-hmm. Not like
Okay, because
not like what you see now. It looks totally different.
right, right.
Now. Jade, correct me if
Okay.
I'm wrong. What was it? A planetoid or asteroid? What was it? I'm gonna see what Jay said. Jay is a true life astronomer, and she can
Right.
tell us exactly what it is. But go ahead, Raptor. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I think how they, from just a video I've seen before. Okay, so my guy in the chat says it was a planetoid.
Mhm.
So it was the planetoid back in the day.
Mhm.
So seeing it come from being a planet to a big hunk of rock in a asteroid belt, as
Mhm.
beautiful as Glacium Belt is,
Mm-hmm.
I think it was such a good move to make it as it is. And I'm gonna tell you, even though we talk about frame rates and things like that, it's not optimized. Of course, they have a lot of work to do. However, when you first enter that Glacium Belt,
Mhm.
and Levski is this big rock in front of you, and as
Mhm.
you get up on it, you can either fly over and get to the top or go through the tunnel.
Mhm.
It is probably one of the coolest sights in Star Citizen thus
Mhm.
far, honestly.
Very cool. Yeah. Fastcart? You said you guys kind of did a walkthrough. You were kind of watching as they were going through. Did you see the Glacium ring, or did you guys do the jump point when you went?
Yeah, we did the jump point. I didn't get to see the Glacium ring, but the jump point, they were going through it, and it seemed longer than the one that goes to Pyro. Well, maybe it's just because, you know, something different, but it seemed different from the one to Pyro. So I like how they're changing it up a little bit between the two, because you know, some people may go on, not I want to say autopilot, but just own it in, but you got to pay attention.
Yeah, I mean, one of the great things about when we do the jump points is that even though there's a little bit of repetition there, there also is the uncertainty because it's not the same each time you go through. I've had people tell me they went through it once and it was a breeze. The next time they went through it, it was much more challenging. And even the mechanics for the jump points aren't completely there yet, such as the level of taking damage or getting ejected and some other things. So, you know, those bars will get raised as they start to do that. One of the things
And
about
I'll
the
be
jump...
honest,
Mhm.
I was gonna say, I just note on what you're saying,
Mhm.
how sometimes people say that they go through a jump point, it's lickety split, no problem, but then
Mhm.
sometimes it's a lot more difficult, and it should be like that, right?
Mhm.
Because it is
Mhm.
an astronomical phenomenon that it's not supposed to be the same every time, you
Right.
know. And if that's on purpose,
Yep.
I think that's super great. And as you said, when they start adding level of damage when you hit one of the, you know, one of
Mhm.
the hooks in it or whatever,
Mhm.
you know, to getting thrown out, I think that's a really great thing they're doing, because again, we're talking about a game that's trying to hit the realism.
Mhm.
You know, what if man made it out to space and it thrived?
Mhm.
You know, I like that, and so I don't mind the challenges. Like, so you would ask my argument header on. I like the challenges they bring whenever, especially with, like, say, the NPCs, they get a little bit more hostile and they're a lot more harder than they was like a year ago.
Mhm.
I love that. I love that I might not be able to, you know, to fight them all off. I love the fact that I might die.
Right.
But, you know, that's the whole point about being out in the verse. It is a risk. It is a challenge.
Mhm.
So I
What I'm
love the
hope-
fact that the wormholes are not going to be, they're not always the same. I think that's cool.
Mhm. Yep.
What I'm hoping for jump points is that someone who's flying a single fighter ship will have a different experience going through a jump point than someone flying like a Polaris. Or
Oh, they
something
do.
like that.
Oh, they do now.
Yeah.
You don't
Oh,
have to.
they
You don't
are?
have to hope for it.
Okay,
You don't have to
okay.
hope for it. It is not the same. Even the type of ship you go through on handles slightly differently when you go through it. So
Mhm.
that is
Absolutely.
there. It is there now.
The
already.
the Clipper, I realized, handles marvelously
Mhm.
in the wormhole. I was, as soon as I got in there, and I was like, wow, this is really, it's very responsive and
Mhm.
you know, very, very smooth. But versus flying, say, you know, the Emerald Duchess, she's a little bit more sluggish,
Mhm.
you
Yep.
know, to,
Different
especially
feel.
to avoid things. So I just
Mhm.
start going through and hitting those little pillars and just going through
Right.
it. But it definitely, yeah, the ships do fly differently in the wormhole for
Yep.
sure.
They have a different
I
feel.
cannot wait to hear the tears of people trying to find a 890 jump through a jump point and losing it.
No, that's not.
because they
That's
didn't
not.
find-
And believe it or not, that's not the case. Believe it or not, there are some ships that fly through much smoother, and others that are much more difficult. The difficulty isn't because of the size. The size actually brings a little bit more stability versus the smaller ships. It's just that you have to be
Okay.
predicting, like any other big thing, right? You have to predict a little bit ahead of time, right? You don't have the advantage of a last minute movement with a big ship that you do with a smaller one. So believe me, it's going to be equal across the board when it comes to that type of thing. I want to talk about the Glacium ring real quick. Oh, well, the thing I want to say about the jump point, just so you guys will know if you haven't done it, it is the Magnus Gate is the one that's temporary. I know there were some people who missed it when CIG said that they think, oh, they're changing it. No, it's just temporary because they want to give people access to Nyx from 2 routes instead of 1. Otherwise, you would have to go through Pyro to get to Nyx. And I understand some people would have liked that, but they're just making it for gameplay's sake, testing sake, that's why the Magnus Gate is no longer there. It is a big jump. I left from Crusader and it was 54 gig just to get from, and Crusader's the closest to it, and it was still 54 gig to get there to the jump point. So there is a station there, as you guys know, that you can refuel from, and not a big deal once you get on the other side. Getting to Levski is only like 12 G away or something like that. It's not very far from
It's
the
not
jump
that
point.
far. Yeah,
It's not that far.
Not very far.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say I actually today I actually went through Pyro because I did the Dead Saints entry level mission. Hauling bodies, smuggling bodies. It's hilarious. So which I always say this, when I see little things, I think that okay, it's a lead into something else. Now that we're seeing bodies inside these little capsules that we're smuggling, in my opinion, I think that gets us closer to bounty hunting version 2, where people are going to be in these little capsules and you have to bring them in and whatever. So but that's besides the point. But so I went from Hurston to Pyro Jump Gate. I had to make a couple stops on the way for stuff, but short end is went through Pyro, went to Terminus, and then from Terminus to the Nyx Gate, and then from Nyx to Levski.
Nice.
And it's really not that bad.
No.
Of a jump. I think that it just would be, if it was the only way. As much as I love the Star Citizen community, but we all know there are people that get bored out there and want to cause trouble for kicks and giggles, and Pyro's a spot for that. If to get to Nyx was the only way is to be in Pyro, I can only imagine the blockade stopping people from trying to get to Nyx. I can only imagine it.
Absolutely.
It would be horrific.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that they gave an extra gate just so people can enjoy the experience of being in Nyx before they cut it off and say, all right, now you do have to go through Pyro to get the Nyx, which really, again, it's about the challenge. And when they started introducing interstellar hauling, imagine how much you'll get paid to start from Stanton and take a load and say Hull C across Pyro to get to Nyx.
Absolutely. Meathead Militia, thank you so much for the raid. A raid of 44 viewers. Welcome, Raiders. Happy to have you all here.
Raiders.
I hope that you had a great stream. Hopefully you had a great time today in Star Citizen. And again, we will try to take good care of your people. I'm Griffin Gaming RPG with fastcart and our special guest Raptor Spriitus. We are doing our update, talking about update 4.4, the latest patch that we've gotten in Star Citizen. Even though we know IAE is going on, that's going to be next week. But this week, we're talking about what's going on with 4.4, and we're just kind of covering the topics you see on screen right now. The last one that I will cover, since you guys covered the other two, is the Glacium Ring, and that is, I kept hearing people talk about the Glacium Ring during PTU and afterward, and I was like, oh, my computer was down. It wasn't down. I couldn't get in because of my AMD driver, but I flew in today, and when I came in today, I saw what other people were saying. They did a great job with that approach. You mentioned it, Raptor. As you're coming into Levski, the hue of the sky, of space, there's just a lot of elements there that makes it stand out from other rings that we have in the game. It has its own unique look, very jagged, not cold feel, but just has a different type of feel. And I cannot leave this segment without talking about Pedro Camacho's music, which is beautiful when you come into Nyx.
It's amazing.
When you
It's
come,
amazing.
yeah, when you come through there and you're approaching, going to the Glacium Ring, and this music comes on, it's just like, wow. I mean, it's just, it's great, and I love the fact that these different themes and tones are being set up into different places we go to kind of subconsciously and consciously set us up for how we feel when we visit these places, whether it's this place that's going to be scary and threatening, or whether it's a place that's soothing and relaxing. I love the fact that those themes are there. It's really, really good stuff. Let's hit on this last topic real quick, and then we're going to move on. We got to do our commercial break. And this is a lot of stuff here, so I'm just going to ask you guys to pick one or two of these that that you're excited about. Some of the stuff that came into 4.4, and that's in the gameplay area. The Sworn Enemies Operation, the Interstellar Hauling, the Nyx Mission Pack, which are new missions, external station freight elevators, player injury pass, and the new and updated collector rewards. Raptor, what's got you excited? Which couple of these got you excited?
So I'm going to stick with the two that I'm aware of at the moment. So obviously, as I mentioned before, the Interstellar Hauling, I think it's fabulous.
Yes.
You know, I do hauling like you know, on the side to make extra money. I kind of do a little bit of everything, but the idea of being able to interstellarly haul cargo to another system, which again, it's risk and reward, right? So I'm super excited about this. I love this. I have another org mate. Her name's Lisa, and she has dedicated. She has a whole C. She's got a bunch like the cargo hauling pack, whatever that one was. So she loves hauling cargo, and this is really cool because again, luckily we have a way to jump to Nyx pretty quickly now. But once that kind of goes away, it increases that risk and reward factor. And I guess for me, I think it kind of makes you feel a little bit more rewarded about being able to traverse from, Stanton to another star system safely with your cargo and be able to, and you get paid for that. I think that's wonderful. And then the other thing, which is, going according to that, was the introduction of the external station freight elevators. I've seen them on, I was at Bajini earlier, and I've seen them because, Bajini looks like this little disc, then it has like this tail end of it that has where capital ships will dock. Along that little shaft, they have those docks there because the elevators, if you ever look at them now when you go into space stations, if you're in the elevator to go to your hangar, it actually will say EXT freight elevator. So it'll take you there, which I think is super cool. And I flew actually along it just to check it out. And of course I saw a Hull C dock right there next to one of the elevators, and I thought that was super amazing. I feel a little bit about if they're going to make people unload all that cargo manually. I hope not. I hope they're still going to give the option to where you can just pay to have it unloaded, because I'm going to tell you, the Hull C's got, what is it, like 3,000 SEU? What is it?
2,900 something. Yeah.
With the Hull C?
Yeah, that's a lot.
Hull C?
Yeah, that's a lot of SEU to do by yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 4,000.
Okay, even worse. Imagine, you're sitting here, and then someone like me who has a proud utility that just likes to be funny once in a while, you be over there trying to unload it, and I'm like, oh look, there's a 16 SCU box. I can just snatch and then fly away. Now I've taken some of your. I mean, it may not be a lot, but I've still taken some of your cargo. So, but I think this is a really cool additive, especially when they added it to Levski. I think it's super cool that they've added it towards the bottom of that tunnel. So it's a really cool addition, I think, for haulers, and I think it's going to make a big impact on the hauling.
Okay. FC, how about you? Anything that stands out that you're interested in? Think's kind of cool?
I am interested in the Vandal fighting. What's it called? The Sworn Enemies, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, the new mission called the Sworn Enemies. I'm looking for, because people know all this already, but we've only had Vandals in the Winter Commander, the Vandal Swarm. So seeing them for the first time in years, I'm looking forward to taking them on. Hopefully not by myself, or and taking them on and winning. Hopefully, because I imagine the first couple of times it's going to be like I remember doing, what was it, Dino Threat, and I got blown up a couple of times until I knew what I was doing. So yeah, I think it'll be more like that. But I'm looking forward to taking on the Vandal.
Okay. Boy, I'm actually excited about going back to our sneak peek, the player injury pass. They showed us years ago this whole thing where when you took a level 1, level 2, level 3, how you would get to it. And we have some of it in the game right now where maybe if you get injured enough, you cannot raise your arm, or even to the point where you have to crawl if your legs get broken. And I remember they tested it for a little bit. It was in there and then they took it away. One of the things I know they did for the health pool now is that before there was a general health pool and your numbers would drop. Now it's actually broken down to each area of your body having its own injury level. And so they've expanded it with greater detail. And so I'm curious to see how they're going to flesh that out. So that now, just like they're having
actually.
Yeah, like with the precision shooting on ships, there's going to be this idea of precision shooting people too, right? If you want to hurt somebody, their arm or their leg or whatever, everybody's just defaults to a headshot. But if injuries are being done differently, it'll be interesting to see how that pans out in the long run. That's the one thing I would say that really sticks out to me here. Also, the external station freight. I'm like you, Raptor. I'm really big on freight and cargo in industry. And so this idea of, bringing in large capacity, whether it's a hull A or a C or a hull C or I was trying to think of the C2, how these different ways will be when we're starting to deliver goods, especially for those of us who are doing missions, because we're doing stuff to make money. That's one thing, but I'm looking for those missions that because something has happened in Levski and certain things need to be delivered there because there's an emergency, or other places, other locations in the game. So I'm really excited about the prospects of that. And then, like I said, there's some other things here. The new Nick's mission packs. Many of you guys have been starting that off already, trying to get into those new missions, trying to build the reputation to get into that. I have not done that yet. Sworn Enemies thing, same thing. But that's what we got right now for some new gameplay that's in 4.0. We're going to take a
They're actually pretty hard.
Sure. Are they?
Sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
The Nick's mission packs, I did it with a couple more org mates. They're actually pretty hard. They actually have a lot of fighters, and it's a pretty hard situation. Plus, you're in the Glacian ring, so there's a lot of big chunks of rock around. There's a lot happening.
Right.
So I will say it's definitely it's not easy. It is very challenging, and it's good to do it with a crew of people. Yeah, do it with a crew of people. That's good.
What were you saying,
Pastor?
recommend?
He said, what ship do you recommend taking?
Don't be telling people. No. We don't do that here. We don't do that here. No. Let me tell you why. I'll tell you why I say that. We want people to figure stuff out. Fastcart trying to get some answers. The whole point of playing the game is the trial and error. I ain't gonna give out no meta here. Well, that ain't happening. So
just stay me 20 minutes, Griffin. That's all I have.
I think Coffee just called me a porch pirate.
Oh no, that's hilarious.
Okay. I tell him I snatch cargo once in a while. He called me a porch pirate.
That's funny. That is funny.
You know what, Coffee? You get thumbs up. I like that.
That's funny. All right, we're going to take a quick 1-minute commercial break, and then we're going to be right back, and we're going to continue on with talking about Update 4.4. So stick around. Thank you guys for being here with us. We'll be right back. Hello there. If you are watching me, that means you are one of our wonderful supporters, and we appreciate each and every one of you, especially being here now with all that's going on with IAE. And maybe you are flying your ship and watching us at the same time. I don't know, but we want to say thank you for being here with us. And also, we want to thank our special guest, Raptor Spiritus, who's here with us as well. Thank you for being here again. We appreciate you. Tell everybody real quick where they can find you. Where can they find you?
On YouTube.
Yeah, tell them what to look up.
Oh, it's just it's Raptor Spriitus. I thought it was a commercial, so I was like, I didn't know you were still here.
That's okay. That's okay.
Oh my god! I was looking like a deer in the headlights. I'm like, doo doo doo.
All right, y'all make sure y'all look up Raptor Spiritus on YouTube. Okay.
Sunday afternoon during the commercial.
I know. Okay, we're back. We want to thank you guys for being here again. We appreciate you being here. We're just kind of having our own little joke over here while the commercial was running, but we're going to continue on with our topics for this show tonight. The next one here is 4.4 again, gang, is about the PDTs and missile changes, new ship weapon art, which we talked about earlier, the Max Ox neutron cannons. whichever one of these you guys, if you guys have experienced any of this or you know about it. If you're not, I'll talk about it. But Raptor, I'll go to you first. Any one of those you want to talk about?
So unfortunately, I must be lost in the sauce because I don't know what this Max Ox neutron cannon is. Like I have no idea what this thing is.
It's one of the guns in the game. It's one of the ship weapons in the game. And CIG
Has
had been doing
been there?
updates. I think so. It's just that they changed the artwork on it. That's all. They did it on the Behringers. Togi's in the chat. I can't remember which ones they did, but they've been doing updates, visual updates to some of the ship cannons. And this is just another one that they've been doing. It's just a graphics change. It's nothing changes. Is it the NBDs? I don't know if it's the NBDs or not. Is that what they're called? Because we come up with these little abbreviations for these different ships. I don't know. Yeah, is Togi in here? Maybe he jumped out with the neutron cannons. They also use M series and CF series. Yeah, okay. K and WCF and Maxa series. Okay, yeah. So they've been in the game. They just again, it's just a graphics change that they're doing to it. Nothing's changed as far as the stats or anything like that. The defense, the turrets, and missile changes. I know that people have been saying that torpedoes are back now and missiles are back now. Somebody in chat, if I'm wrong, y'all tell me, but that's what I've been hearing. I have not went out and shot a one, but I do know that they have changed activation ranges, detonation. They're faster, particularly the size 9s or 10s are supposedly much faster now as far as, when you launch them out at ships. I don't know. Is there anything else you guys heard about either of these, about the missile changes? The turrets. The turrets were cut by 50%. The PDSs, those have been cut by 50%.
PDCs?
PDCs, rather. Yeah, they've been cut by 50%.
Okay, so I saw this actually. Camera Roll. He's another YouTuber that talks about all the flaws that Star Citizen has. He's German. He's actually super funny. Actually, when he talks about this stuff, but he was showing where prior to this patch, like in 3 point something or another, he showed it with the 890 jump and showed it with the Polaris, where when they were shooting missiles or torpedoes, they'd hit them 10 kilometers out, and they would barely get near the ship.
Yeah.
But here, it barely stops them. Like it occasionally it may hit one, but it's more likely to hit now in the in the current 4.4 patch than before. Yeah.
In fact, Captain Jones says that the PDCs don't hit. They consider, they don't hit like they used to, he says here. And some of them get through now. There's a chance for them to get through. Another thing that got adjusted in here too was our ship gun ranges, our attack ranges, where smaller ships used to be able to stay outside of the range of big ships, and they could just basically take them out from distance. And now they've reduced that. So now your ranges on ships for attacking is somewhere between 900 and 1,300, 1,300 meters. I think it is 900, 1,300 kilometers, something like that. But anyway, you got to be much closer, which now means that ships like the Hammerhead and Polaris, they have way more possibility of nailing you when you go in to attack them. So you can't be in that single seat fighter taking out a cap no more. That's out the window. So they have changed that. Well, you know what? It was, listen, we knew it was a matter of time, right? Everything is always just a matter of time, which is good though, because it makes it more challenging for both parties, right? It brings it closer to the thing. What were you going to say, Raptor?
No, I was going to say, so, it's good, and I think it's good and it's bad. I think that for certain ships, the stealth ship, what was it called? It's by Aegis. It looks like a black, like a stealth bomber. What is that one called?
The Eclipse?
The Eclipse, yeah. I remember back in before 4.0, where people would be chilling out somewhere and all of a sudden this mysterious torpedo would come out of nowhere and destroy them.
Right.
Just locking you and it's over. Like you can't, it's like there's no escape.
Right.
So I kind of dig that they've kind of made it where you have to come in a little closer. I mean, the same thing goes for the Polaris. Like you got a Polaris that's 15 clicks out and it's just bombarding you with mad torpedoes. Like that's not cool.
Right.
So it's nice that they have to come in a little closer. But it does give the hammer had more time to eat you alive, because I had this happen when I was testing out the Perseus, and I was trying to lock on the Perseus with torpedoes. All of a sudden, I was getting lit up. My front shield dropped so fast, and I was taking hits. I was like, I had a panic, and I tried to run. So yeah, it's not like it was before where you're like 10 kilometers out or 8 kilometers out and you can lock them and just shoot from a distance. Like, nah.
Yeah. Well, here's the other side of the coin. The pendulum always swings and swings back, right? So before, the advantage was this way. Take into consideration your Perseus is not armor balanced. You don't have armor doing what it's supposed to do in the game right now. And take into consideration engineering is a factor with overheating of weapons. So all those other things will start to bring that balance. So right now, where the Perseus might have came in and did boom, now it's the other way around. Now it's the hammerhead that's getting the boom, and that's going to keep swinging and swinging. And instead of that pendulum doing like this, eventually it's going to swing less and less and less and less and less till we get into a place where both sides feel like it's 50-50 now. You know what I'm saying? Not 70-30 or 90-10.
I don't know how I feel about the engineering portion.
Well, that's okay.
Like, the concept of engineering sounds cool, but I'm a little scared, of what engineering is going to do to. Yeah, I mean, because like you just said, there's factors that are not actually, here yet, which armor is a big part of that. So when armor isn't available and doing its job, you got through your hull and knocking out your systems early on. So in my opinion, I would hope they would not release engineering until they have released armor plating for ships, because I think you're going to run into where there's going to be a lot of gameplay where people are going to be getting chewed up, and then their ships are going to stop working, and they're going to be left drifting in the water, too fast. Like, they're not going to be able. I think it's going to hurt the gameplay, in my opinion. Because there's nothing to protect them.
I would agree with you if it's too fast. But protection isn't just about your ship. Protection is about who you bring with you. Protection is about the people who are on your crew and how competent they are. Protection is going to be about whether you decided to take the risk of going out there with your Perseus by yourself or whether you brought 3 fighters with you. So all those factors are going to be a part of it, right? So I hear what you're saying. Believe me, I do. But like, again, the pendulum swings, right? And they're going to have to make sure the engineering feels balanced enough, right? Because you can even have if you've got a situation where you got a full crew and everybody's doing everything they can, and yet and still they still get wiped out, balance ain't right, right? This is going to be.
Let me tell you like my Duchess.
What about Duchess?
What if I'm in the Emerald Duchess by myself, minding my business, cruising through the verse?
Let me ask you a question. You already answered your own question. Is your ship a multi-crew ship? Yes. Okay.
Yes, no.
Okay. Yes, it is. Let me try it. Okay. You got to come back for our multi-crew show. We'll talk about that. All right. Let's get on to the next thing. That's hilarious.
I was going to say, this is why TIG is making so much money just IAE, because people melted their old ships that are not flavored a month and getting new flavor a month for 4.4. That's why they're making so much money.
Is that what's happening? Okay. If you say so, they made their money on that Perseus day. I don't know about that. Okay.
I'm gonna tell you, so many people bought that thing. Oh my god.
They sure did. All right, weapons and items. Here we go. The new FPS weapons that got dropped. The shotgun pistol, the triple down. There's another FPS weapon called the boob. I was gonna say the boob tube.
The boom tube.
Well, when I was a kid, that's what we used to call the TV. If you sat in front of the TV too much, you're watching the boob tube, And then there's also some new armor sets that have come out, and we've seen some of these new sets that are even being offered during IAE. Raptor, on you. Which one of these? Have you seen either of those weapons? I saw them on the wall. No, was that? No, I didn't see triple down on the wall. I take that back. I haven't seen any of those. Have you seen any of them, Raptor?
Yeah, so Lesky, the triple down pistol shotgun is on the wall. You can
that was on the wall.
You can get it at the Yeah,
it was okay.
And but not the. I've not experienced the boom tube. I've only seen it from YouTubers streaming it. The triple down. I don't even know where to start with this thing because this is absolutely bonkers. It's a 3-barrel sawed-off pistol shotgun. That, I mean, just imagine, just for like 5 seconds, like a 3-barrel shotgun full of buckshot up close. It's not going to be fun. It's going to be a very bad day for you.
It sounds crazy.
And it's got this little handle that is like, the little handle on it's like, and then it pops the shells out, and then you it's crazy. But it is a fun pistol. It is literally a one-shot pistol. It's unreal.
That's hilarious.
We all know that usually turns into they're gonna do something to it later, but I'm not gonna say the word. It'll jinx it. It'll jinx it. So, but yeah, I've used it myself. It's hilarious. I will say for the weapons that you're getting in 4.4 that you can find in Levski, the triple down, the boom tube, the pulverizer, the space AK, AK the kill shot.
Right.
If you look at these are all weapons that look like people who had only the scrap they found
to
put these things together.
Yeah.
I love this aesthetic. I love it has rust on it. They have dents. I mean, it's real, and it plays to the people of Levski, that are in Nyx. It plays to their struggle and in the fact that they've come together to make the People's Alliance make it work. I love it. So that's a little side note, but it's I love the new weapons. I think they're pretty cool. They're a little wacky, but they're a little cool.
That's cool. FC, I know you kind of keep an eye on it. I know sometimes you buy, sometimes you don't, but have you taken a look at any of the new armor sets that they've shown so far? Have you seen any of them?
Not yet. I was just looking up the pistol and the boom tube now to catch up on myself. They look interesting, so I'm maybe give it a shot in game. But as far as the what is it called? The wrong place. The new armor is called. You got the BattleTech armor and the new Wicklow Reward BattleTech armor. No, I haven't had a chance to look at those yet. I'll look those up right now. Matter of fact.
Yeah,
I think it's actually. I think it's pretty cool. The medium armor almost. So you guys remember a couple of Citizen Cons back where they were talking about creating different pouches that you can actually stick to your armor and to your clothes.
Yes.
For more storage. This is what the medium armor looks like. That like the chest is very plain, but it looks like you would put attachments on it to hold things on the chest portion of it. It's a very clean, very simple medium armor. The Wicklow version with the dreadlocks, it looks like a Predator suit. Just to be honest, it looks like the Predator with the little dreadlocks on the back, but it's actually not that bad. And then they have versions of it from this new faction that's out there. They have like the helmet is like a skull on top, and then the chest piece has like red marks across it. But it looks really cool. They have a few different variations, and I think they're really neat.
Yeah. Okay. I would say
I'm gonna try to put. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I have not. Only thing I remember about the boom tube was when they showed it on the IAE that time. Not IAE, on the was it the Citizen Con Direct? I don't remember when they showed it to us.
Yeah.
But I remember seeing it and thinking about talking about how powerful it was, but also how wildly it will shoot, and whether you hit your target or not is going to be interesting. So it'll be interesting to see, whether it becomes something that people really like, or it's like a 50-50 chance when you fire this thing if you're even going to hit your target.
You see,
So I think
this thing I see. If you're walking solo, not worried about hit friendly fire, this is the gun for you. If you're worried about friendly fire, don't take this gun. That's what I'm saying.
Oh my god,
that's fair.
I put
That's
a link
fair.
in Twitch chat from Reddit.
Okay.
About the new armor.
Okay, gotcha.
And with the boom tube, it. And so it's what I think it was Citizen on Direct. I think you're right. When they showed it, it didn't have like a downside, but it does now.
Oh, it does. Okay.
Yeah, it's a very ugly looking. Like it looked like someone took the soda top little tab and boom, there you go. But I'm sure it's still. I mean, if you look at it, it's literally 3 little like ordinances strapped together with tape. And some wires going to the chart. It's real ghetto fabulous. Like you want to talk about something that's rigged, like jerry rigged, or you want to use the other rigged word. It is mega rigged. And I would never expect it to shoot straight. I mean, watch out, friendly fire, here we come. But That
Hey,
it's
you gotta go solo with that thing. Don't take friends with if you're gonna.
Tell them to stand.
yeah,
Yeah, tell
or
them to stand to the side.
make
Tell
sure
them
to
to
stand
stand to the
behind
side
you.
and stand behind
Yeah,
you.
yeah. Oh my god,
All right, I'm gonna have to take a look at it
I'll be
then.
behind you, way behind you.
Way
Just to be sure.
behind.
facts.
Okay.
Nah, I'm gonna be in the ship behind you somewhere.
All right, characters and AI. There are new enemies. There was a lot of, I don't know if it was surprise or I don't know. It was such a mixed feeling when we were at CitizenCon and they revealed that the Vanduul NPC pilots were going to be introduced with Nyx. But that is a part of one of the missions that we're doing now. The Vanduul NPC pirates. I've heard that they are challenging. I've heard that the battle out there, the combat out there is challenging, and also. Fastcart, we talked about this a little bit earlier, new player beards and hairstyles. And I was actually kind of glad to see some stuff with that, but I'll make my comments last. Raptor, I know you started talking a little bit about the mission stuff, but you got any thoughts about the new enemies, the Vanduul? Have you gotten that far? Have you run to the Vanduul yet?
No, I have not
Okay.
played the Vandal missions yet.
Okay.
But like I said, I've seen them, and you know, it's cool because you're putting a face with your pilot that you're taking out.
Mhm.
It is cool to see them. Now, I will say, I wish CIG would took it a step further, and whenever you get to missions where we're on stations and whatnot, they
Mhm.
would have NPC Vandals actually fighting, fighting against you. Like that
Mhm.
would be a lot. That would have been, I think, a little bit cooler. But I mean, I understand. I'm sure they're working out animations for that and whatnot.
Mhm.
But I love the fact that now the Vandal or actually the bodies are actually in the game. I think that's cool.
Mm. Okay. Okay. FC.
Yeah, I'm kind of looking at the new hairstyles.
Mm-hmm.
None of them are for me, but they added quite a few though. There's like what, 8?
They added
Yeah,
several
especially with the beard chops.
the facial
the
stuff.
beard
Well,
chops.
no, but you know what? I'm glad you said that because I was hollering about. There's a video out there that shows them. CIG, please, please, CIG, give us a slider that increases and decreases. Because everybody you got on there has beards and pork chops and everything that are 5 inches off their freaking face. We need to be able to do this, right? We need to be able to, I don't mind if it's a beard, it's a cool beard, but it needs to be able to come in like that. So give us the slider that pulls the hair in and out, because I don't want to be looking like Yukon John every time I freaking make a character, okay? Please give us the slider for the facial hair.
You don't want to be a face dwarf.
Well, you know what? No, well, you know what? Now, mind you, the one thing I will say, Raptor, is when I continued going through the videos, there were some where it was more of a fade, you know what I mean? It was much closer to the skin, but I still would love for them to give us that slider that allows us, and even with the general hairstyles, just to be able to either bring out more hair or reel it in. I know it's nice to have different hairstyles, but the length factor, I know it's coming. I'm just giving my petition here to add that. Whether it's your full hair, your beard, your mustache, just allow us to, bring it in and just do this. That's all we need to be able to do. Okay. There were some other hairstyles that came into, I think there were like 4 or 6 new hairstyles. They've been bringing in like 4 hairstyles almost every time they've been doing this new ones. And there's a good variety in there too. And I'm glad they went from having all the crazy, I shouldn't say crazy, all the Euro style stuff that we had in the very beginning, and they've kind of given you a little bit of just everything, whether you want something lightweight or something that's out there. I've got like I just redid my 3rd character, and she's got the lines and this thing with some cool braids in it. It's really nice. So I applaud them. CIG told us back in LA that the hair was coming, and they've been putting out hair almost every once in a while. A patch, we've been getting new hairstyles. So thank you for that, CIG. Thank you. Let's see. Okay, we got one more category to go. We're getting there. We're almost there. All right. We talked about a little bit of this earlier, but we can go into it a little bit more depth with the core tech and audio. Flight music system updates, new music and atmospheric audio, mini core tech streaming improvements, and environmental performance optimizations. One thing I'm going to talk on before I go to Raptor is that they also did another graphics pass on this one. I was in Orison today. Most of us are over at Orison because we're there because of IAE. And I noted that when I left the hab and I was on my way to the tram, first off, I noticed that there were yoga mats out there and people were out there doing yoga, which has been over at Microtech only for all this other time. The second thing I noted was that when I was on the tram, I could see that they had done visual artwork at Orison. Now, whether they did that because of IAE or whether they've done it at all, because I haven't visited every place else in 4.0 yet, but I noticed that the platforms have now painted colors underneath them and a whole bunch of other stuff. So they did do another graphics pass, and I just kind of noticed a little bit more sharper, cleaner look to the game, at least for me. Maybe because I wasn't playing for 2.5, 3 weeks, it just looked fresher, but things looked a little fresher to me when it came to the visuals in the game. Raptor, I know we started talking about a little bit about the music and the ambiance and stuff, but what's your thoughts on any of these with 4.0?
I mean, as we talk about, like, flight music, I think it just adds a sense of, because anyone who's ever played any sci-fi or watched any sci-fi shows, people when they're flying through space, there's always some sort of music that kind of sets the tone or sets the scene about what they're doing. And I love the fact that CIG keeps improving on that for the player experience, because it literally will put you into your own little sci-fi movie or show that you're in. I love that it adds it to it, like, especially in the different areas you go to. Stanton has its music, depending on where you go. Same thing with Pyro. It has its more dark, ominous type music. And then of course you have Levski, which again, it gives you this kind of frontier of hope type music, which I love. When you roll up to it, it's like whenever I hear it, it's like, you've reached safety. You've reached, a place where you can be you, and there's hope on the horizon, especially if you come from any of those other two places, being ruled by the UEE and you don't like it, or being stuck in a crazy place like Pyro where it's lawless. Nick's music really makes you feel like you're at home.
Yeah, good point. Yeah. FC, how about you?
Yeah, and this one I can't really comment on because I was watching through Discord. You know how Discord can not to play him in game, so I can't really comment on that. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I will say this: many people have commented over the last few patches that the audio team at CIG has been doing a great job with refining audio. Now, there have been some audio issues in here too, but I will say this, Raptor, you mentioned about the new Drake ship, right? The Clipper. And I got in it today for the first time, and I just took it out just for, just to see how it flew in atmosphere, just to see what it was like. And first of all, the ship flew much better than I thought it would. I thought it was going to fly like a tank, and like how the cutter does, but it's more nimble than the cutter.
Misjudges
and it's
Drake.
pretty fast.
You don't know what Drake's all about, baby.
Yes, we do. Trust me, we do. But I will give it credit. I enjoyed flying that ship, and I had said last week that the ship was going to be hot. But here's the thing that was really interesting: when we were flying it, it sounded like a Drake ship, for lack of a better term. It's got its weird rumble that's kind of like power and also falling apart at the same time that just fits the ship, right? And it's kind of cool, just those little hints of rattle or whatever, but it doesn't sound like the ship's broken. It's just got this mechanical, maybe that's what it says, a mechanical sound, right? It's not like this smooth purring thing, but it's got this great sound of power. And so I love the fact that even when you get in a Crusader ship or you get in this, you hear these very distinct sounds that match that manufacturer, which is probably no small task to do. It's maybe both conscious and subconscious for us as players. But I'm also hoping that in time, we will start to be able to hear those engines, and literally from you listening to the engine hum, you can tell whether you've got something wrong, right? Like, does your engine need to be fixed? I'm getting ready to take off. Maybe I didn't have time to go back look at the engineering panel to see is my whatever at 100%. Maybe it's at 72%, but just by me firing it up, I can hear, whoa, the engine doesn't sound good. You know what I mean? And then I go look at the thing and say,
or something.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm hoping that level of detail also, which can be like just subliminally behind us, but you know what that engine's supposed to sound like when you get in it. Just like when you get in your car, right? You hear something rattling, you're like, whoa, something's not right, So I'm hoping that they take it to that level, which would be pretty awesome.
I can tell you there's something wrong right now. You're flying a Drake. That's wrong. So, you take care of that.
Now listen, Raptor, I ain't got Drake hate. That's Drake hate, okay? I have Drake perspective.
I see that.
I have Drake perspective. He's throwing some Drake hate at you, okay?
Look, I'm gonna tell you,
that's my only Drake.
Oh man, you know what? Hang it up. Get yourself like a whole C or something. Just hang it up.
Let's see. And again, we talked a little bit about Pedro's music. And Pedro even had put out some posts talking about how much he enjoyed doing this, and people have been complimenting him about the music at Nick's. I have not explored it enough to hear every place where there may be something. I remember even when I went, and you mentioned this earlier, Raptor, when you went to Pyro, and I remember the first time I came out in Pyro, and you see that red thing, and the music just sounds ominous as soon as you come out of the jump point, right? And it's just got a creepy feel. And then when you come out of Quantum and you're approaching a planet, sometimes it's just this creepy feel. When you go to the ASD thing and the storm is going, it's like the ambiance is set.
Oh yeah.
The music is just like motion picture level,
Let me tell you, since you brought it up, ASD facilities, right? When that first dropped, I didn't, in PTU, resets all your settings. Typically, my music is down. So in PTU, my music is wide open, way up. I'm not paying attention. As soon as I got to the lobby, that music was the creepiest stuff I've ever heard in my life.
Yep.
I was like, oh my God, CIG, y'all trying to give me a heart attack. I literally I was like, what the heck is that?
Yeah.
And I realized it was the music. And yeah, because again, they literally give music that sets the tone for the environment you're in. That is one thing I will say CIG is excelling in. And someone made a comment about the sound. They brought up the Saber Firebird, actually, which is what we were talking about. The first thing I thought about. Saber Firebird is one of those first inclinations where you started hearing a distinctive difference between how its engine sounds compared to other ships.
Absolutely.
When you hit the afterburner, that different sound and that effect you get almost like a blur because it's supposed to be so fast. It's different and distinctive than any other ship. And we started seeing that more since then. Same thing with the Wolf, right? You guys remember when the Wolf came out, its sound sounds very distinctive, to what it is.
Definitely.
And I like that they've been really honing in on that for all the new ships, and they've actually gone back and done some more work on other ships like the Corsair. Whenever you're doing a roll and you hear the walls creaking.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And to your point, sometimes there are things we miss out on when we're always the pilot, but I've been on people's ships and been walking through them while a ship is moving, and you can hear certain sounds. Even if you go from one compartment to the next, sometimes it's a little more muffled in that compartment as to when you're near the engineering area, the engines are louder. There's all these, like you said, little nuances that kind of make that immersion even better, right? And a lot of times I feel, I don't want to sound like I'm saying this the wrong way. Sometimes people turn stuff down in the game because they're so isolated on focus on certain things. They don't want to hear that stuff. But to me, it's like, man, they're missing out on something. It just adds that little bit more to the game. If they and I get it because you can't hear something, that's fine. But sometimes they turn off stuff and it's like, you totally miss it. Sometimes music can drive you crazy because you're trying to hear somebody shooting at you and the music's playing. It's like, what the heck? But other than that, I think that CID is doing a great job when it comes down to their audio and the ambience that they're creating. It's blowing up more and more. Things are sounding more realistic, whether it's an explosion, whether it's a ship flying past you at some crazy speed. They're just doing a really, 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 really good job. Okay, that's it. We're done. We have hit the mark. We have knocked it out of the park today. We got ending a little bit earlier than usual, but that's okay. I'm not complaining because I can go eat dinner. But let's talk about what we've got coming up next week. I think we'll talk about next week. Next Sunday. As you guys know, IAE 2955 kicked off this week, and we're going to be, as we get toward the end, we always do our review of what we think of IAE, of the new products that have been put out. There's a lot of stuff that's out there this year, whether it's from the merchandise store, whether it's paints, whether it's ships. CIG has kind of like released the stops when it comes to y'all spending money. So next week, we're going to be talking a little bit about that. We're going to be doing some giveaways as well as we always do for IAE. So hopefully you all will be able to join us for that on next Sunday at 7 p.m. Do we have any questions? Admiral Kusanagi, our moderator, is on point, and I didn't even look and think about it. So
we have
fast
one
card.
from Pop.
We
We
do.
have one from Pop and Spring.
Okay. What question do we have?
Pop says, I brought a clipper. Do you think Star Citizen will shift toward multifunctional ship that can do more in smaller vessels, more master of none? So, do you think Star Citizen will shift to a multifunctional ship that can do more in smaller vessels?
I'll let Raptor see what his first thoughts are, and then I'll say mine.
Oh, sorry. Okay, so I talk about this a lot with my org mates, and um, one of them is his name's Ocean. He would like to see more of that, but really, I think it depends on the manufacturer because, I put it to you like this, right? Could you imagine an Origin ship rocking around with a crafting table inside of it? It doesn't fit Origin's aesthetic. Origins, that's like having a Bentley with an Xbox in it and a TV. It's weird.
Yeah.
If Bentley's gonna have, an ice cooler for some champagne and some cool glasses and some alcohol, absolutely. And some really nice, smooth TV that comes down from the thing. But it's, there's some things that fit and some things that don't. So I don't think that you're gonna get this from every manufacturer. I think that it helps keep it towards certain things. So if you want a little bit more of that, I think maybe a couple more manufacturers get it, but I wouldn't see it happening where every single one is going to get a ship that has a med bed and has a crafting table. I don't think that's going to be something you'll see all the time, going forward.
Yeah, I think it's a fair. I think you're on point. First of all, just in relation to manufacturers and design, I think there's a couple other things that have been going on. One, there have been a portion of the community who've been very, very concerned about what is the role and life of the solo player in Star Citizen. Many of them have felt like there's this huge swing toward multiplayer. And in a way, I would say, yes, there has been. In a way, I would say, no, it's always been there. It's just that CIG is now focusing and putting in that to fill out with multiplayers. But we've had multiplayer ships around since day one of this game. But for many years, they've never functioned beyond someone being in a turret and someone flying, and that's been it. So the fact that they're expanding that now with other areas such as repair and engineering and even medical, but they're also providing something now for that player who is what we still call the lone wolf, the person who wants to play, doesn't necessarily have to be completely dependent upon other players. And to your point, Raptor, the Clipper is that ship. It allows people to have access to a medical area, and you guys saw the commercial for it, a medical area. There's a little bit of crafting. It's not major crafting, but it's something that allows that player to be at least be able to do certain aspects of the game. And for some people, that gameplay will be appropriate for them. I think the Clipper is a great ship. I don't think it's ugly. I think it has a great, unique design that spins off of the Corsair. But guess what? I'm not buying one. It's not my gameplay. But there are other people. There are other people who are coming into this game who will see that ship and they will jump on it, right? So again, CIG is not limiting people. If it's not for you, it's not for you, and that's okay. If it is for you, it is for you. So that's basically what I think about to Pops' question. Will Crusader do one? Will RSI do one? We'll just have to wait and see. And I'm sure they're going to look at the analytics on this ship, how it sells, and not only how it sells, but let's say a bunch of people buy it. The question is, how will players be using it? And if it goes out there and players aren't really using 30% or 40% of what the ship is supposed to do, that might be the only one we'll see. Then again, if that thing blows up and everybody that buys one is using 80% of what that ship is capable of doing, you can figure CIG will probably, they always give options. So it won't be just one manufacturer. Not every manufacturer, like Raptor said, but you may have one or two other people that put out a ship. And think about the price point on that ship too. That ship is above, that's the highest advanced, I don't know if you want to call it an advanced starter, but I guess you would. Before our starters used to be between as low as $25 and as much as $60. And then we moved into that $70 to $100 spot. And now we've got a ship that's coming in at $135, but it offers a lot. And some people are saying, oh, it's so much money, but you guys pay attention to what that ship offers. If you can start crafting right away, if that becomes the first ship that allows you to do crafting, there are plenty of people who will feel that extra $20 or $30 is worth it for them in the game. So we'll have to see how it plans out, Yeah.
And I'll tell you, when it comes to Drake, right? I always say this, and if you always make jokes about it. My organizations like to say it's like when the hell together was spit and twine. It's not fact. Drake is a basically a no nonsense, no fuss ship manufacturer. They say what job do you need done? Okay, we'll make something that works.
Yeah.
Right. It's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be glamorous. It's not going to have all these nice little wall panels and all this cool lighting and stuff. Nah, And they don't have all that. Even when they were talking about, you watch the behind the ships, they were talking about the medical bed. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
well, most things that have medical beds typically have like a white floor and very like hospital type of aesthetic happening. And they
Mm-hmm.
were like, we're not putting that in Drake. Drake's like, you're gonna get blood on your floor. It's expected,
Right.
right? You're flying
Right.
Drake.
Right.
You're going out there and doing a lot of the random things that most other manufacturers are not making ships to do
Mm-hmm.
because it's Drake.
Mm-hmm.
Drake made something that is basically for the person who is about to go out there and get himself into whatever he finds. It's they're like, you know what, you want to do a little bit of everything? Here, we got something for you. You can have a med bed if you get into firefights, which you probably will, or get shot at somehow or another, because you're probably going to be hanging around not the nice places. You're not going to Terra in this thing and, hanging out the nice, club spots.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to probably be in Pyro doing some suspicious stuff, hauling suspicious things. Shoot, I just, hauled some bodies earlier. So the short end of the story is this is very classic Drake in its best. This is why I think they did it this way, because this is what you can expect from Drake. Drake is like that. They're like, oh, you need that? Okay, we'll make something that'll work for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think it's going to be, again, we'll see how it plays out. I think Drake, well, plus we know Drake has been cleaning up their act, right? Not to be funny, but I'm speaking from a lore perspective. They're pushing away from the piracy thing. They're pushing for the ship for the common person, the everyday person, not the rich person, not the person who's necessarily into this, that, and the other, but the person, like you said, who wants a straightforward, straight line ship. We've just recently got the new manufacturer introduced, Gray's Market, which is now going to definitely have more of that weird feeling of, is this where the pirates are going to start going, right? We're going to the Gray's
Red-headed stepchild.
The ships that have their serial numbers erased off the side. You know what I mean? So we'll have
Exactly.
to see. We'll have to see what happens with that. But here's the thing that's cool: CIG, their lore dynamic. We've had the lore for so long that we've treated the lore like the Bible. Pardon the expression. That it's the law and it's written. But there has to be some latitude, I think, for us to give CIG breathing room. And just like how now they're talking about terraforming because of the UEE and Nix. I'm not that crazy about the idea, but I'm open to see, okay, let's see where this is going now. What are they doing? We're talking about over a 13-year period, and let's see where they're going with these things that they're doing. I know that I saw what Lens Nation said about them. Will they make the ship obsolete because of a meta ship? I think CIG has stated over and over again that they want to stay away from metas, and that's a very difficult thing to do. I don't think that they want ships to become obsolete. I think that they're just going to give us plenty of options, and people will choose the ship that they want. There are some people who still love their Hornet 1 versus their Mark II because that's the ship that they bought and they like. There are other people that want to move to the upgrade. There are people who don't care for Hornets at all. They want something else. I'm trying to be careful of saying what's good and what's bad. My thing is, if they put it out there, and if only 5% of the people like it, that's their like. But there's going to be other ships that 90% of the people they're going to like. That's cool. And they've told us that. And I think that we got to stop not acting like they didn't say. We're putting options out there because everybody's different. Everybody's gameplay. Somebody sees beauty in the ugliness. When I saw it, when I walked into the shore, because everybody was talking about how ugly it was, and I was joking, serious fun. He was all over this ship talking about how ugly it was. The Clipper. He was all walking to the convention center. He's preaching to me about how ugly the ship is. And when I got there and looked at it, I said, it doesn't look that bad, And then by the time I walked through it and stood back and looked at it again, I said, I like it. I said, it's rubbing off on me. I didn't like the 400i when that first came out. Y'all know I'm an Origin fan, but I like the 400i now. I like the design. It's rubbed off on me. That's all right. You ain't got to fly one. You ain't got to be sorry. You ain't got to be sorry. You ain't got to fly one. Now, if you buy one and you don't like it, then you can complain. But if you haven't bought one, you ain't got no reason. You ain't no reason to complain. Anyway,
we do have one more question.
We got one more? Sure.
Yeah, GQBD. I can never pronounce it. Well, you know how you pronounce that?
Nope. But go ahead. Qubit, G-Qubit, G-Quib. I don't know.
4.5, first week or second week of December. When is 4.5 coming out?
Don't know. They said that they want to get the patch out by the end of the year. That they want to get. Let me rephrase that. Because engineering is a part of 4.5, what they said was that they wanted to get engineering out before the end of the year. And I think that with the holiday coming up, we know that there's a clock ticking because they're end of the year. It's not because it could go to December 31st because they have dropped patches like at the very end, but they go on holiday. So yes, we would think normally the way patches have been going every 30 days or something like that. I think there were supposed to be 8 drops this year, 8 or 9. It's not 12 drops this year. It's like 8 or 9 drops this year. So I wouldn't try to hold anything on this one, guys. The engineering patch is a really big thing. Some people believe what they'll do if it's not ready. It's what they've done before, like when they did with the systems, is that they'll put out a PTU version before the holiday and let us play with that and keep the live version running so that people have something stable to play. Preview. And no, not even a tech preview, that they'll put it out in, because they've done a tech preview on engineering already. I'm saying if they put 4.5 out, not just engineering, they'll put that out in PTU and then leave the current 4.0 up for, no, you said 4.5. 4.5, they didn't mean 4.5, they meant 4.1, right?
No, 4.4.0 is what we're on now.
Yeah, but that wouldn't be 4.5.
Yeah,
I mean, it could be. I mean, we were just in 4.3 recently, so I mean, it could be 4.5.
Are we in 4. What are we? We're in 4.4 right now, right? I'm sorry, I'm thinking 4.0. Forgive me. You're right. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I'm getting my numbers all crazy. Yeah, so 4.5. If they put that in PTU and keep 4.4 running, so we get through the holidays, that 3-4 weeks where CIG's on break. If they put 4.5 out and leave it, y'all know how we are when they do that for the holidays. People be hostile when they put out that patch and nobody's messing with it for 4 or 5 weeks. So we'll have to see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, I think that they'll probably, if the engineering's not ready, I think they'll still release the rest of it, like the helmet and some of the other little things, and then they'll just obviously keep working on it after the holiday. Typically, usually they'll drop patches between the 15th and the 20th. That's usually when they're gonna drop patches. Always happening around that time.
Yep.
And so if they're gonna drop it, if they are, I mean, and of course you'll see it once within the next week. If you see a PTU come up for 4.5, it's gonna.
If Evocati gets it, Evocati gets it and everything. You're right. We'll just have to, like you said, got to pay attention to what's going on, and we'll see. Good point. Okay, so again, next Sunday, we're going to be talking about IAE 2955, giving our review, talking about all this cool stuff that's happened. And of course, we're going to be excited to review all the ships and vehicles that have come out next week as well. So watch your wallets.
3-hour show.
Yeah, watch your wallets. That's all I'll say to you on that is watch your wallets. Do your best to wait until the end of the convention. I know that there's always this desire to, as soon as it comes out, and buy. One thing we always recommend, don't forget also, and we can remind you guys next week too, don't forget at the end of the convention, there are a lot of items that go on sale in game. So if you're looking for special weapons and armor, that's the time to grab it and stock up for it for the year. So get your 20 P6s or whatever it is you want to get at that time, or your boom tube, whatever you want to buy. That'll be a great time to buy that as well. Once again, special shout out to Raptor Studios. Raptor, tell everybody once again, I know you're ready for me this time. Tell people where they can find you on YouTube. What should they look up if they're looking for you? And Fastcart, if you can put the link in. Oh, he's already on it. Fastcart's got it in there. Go ahead and tell him, Raptor.
Yeah. So if you look at the link, it's literally, as it says, it's Raptor Spriitus.
Oh, Spiritus.
All together in one word.
My apologies. Yeah. I thought it was Spiritus. That's what happens when you get old and can't see. Okay, I'm sorry.
No. So let me be honest real quickly. It originally, it's because it's an Xbox handle. It originally was Spiritus, but when I created the YouTube, I actually misspelled it. And it was the same thing for my Star Citizen.
You've done that before.
It's for my Star Citizen, so I just kept it that way. I was like, it's the same thing on my Star Citizen. Same thing on my YouTube, same thing on my Discord, so that way people won't get confused. So I just left it like that. So it's, yeah.
Gotcha. Well, you guys make sure you support, go over, enjoy them. And hopefully we'll get to have you come back one day and talk with us some more. We had a great time having you here. Hope you enjoyed yourself being here with us. And to your community, too. You got some community folks out there. We appreciate them coming to support you as well. All righty.
It was wonderful. And I appreciate it. Thank you very much for having me, and I would love to do it again anytime you guys want to. Let me know.
Well, we're happy to have you on. FC, who do we have? Do we have anybody?
I'm supposed to look that up. I'm not on my normal.
You know what? Oh, that's right. Let me look and see, because I know we said we were going to try. Is Corsair? Wait. I want to see if Corsair's on, because we owe Corsair a raid, and he didn't hit me with a message tonight. I just want to take a quick browse. And if I don't see
somebody named Corsair that was in the Twitch, I saw it because I was like, oh, another Corsair fan. Hey.
Was he? Let me see if he's on. Yeah, because he comes in here, but then he starts streaming, and I don't. Corsair Cowboy, I don't see him. I should just do a search. Why am I doing it the long way?
But he was here. I saw him earlier.
Let's see if he's in there
I don't
today.
see-
No, he's not on tonight.
Oh,
Okay.
crap.
All
It's-
right.
It's still scrolling for me.
That's okay. He's not on tonight though.
To the bottom.
No worries. You know what? I can just do the search thing and the raid thing. It's not a big deal. All right. Oh, you know who's on? Our very own Yo-Yo Meg. So
Okay.
we're going to send you guys over to Yo-Yo Meg. And you guys know Yo-Yo, one of our team members. Get over to Yo-Yo. She's out there EVAing right now with a pistol in her hand. When you get over to Yo-Yo's stream, be sure to let her know that you came over from the Soul Citizens. And definitely like and follow her. She's a wonderful, wonderful streamer. Spiritus, once again, thank you. Spriitus, thank you. Raptor, appreciate you being here. FC, thank you. Also appreciate you being here. You guys stay safe, take care of yourselves. And as we always tell you guys each week, peace, love, and soul. We'll see you guys later. Ciao.
Can I